Are you truly ready for the unforeseen challenges that life may throw your way? But what if those preparations come at a hidden cost? Imagine if the very actions you take to safeguard your future inadvertently place you on a government watch list. In this video, we dive deep into the signals that could catch federal eyes. Are your strategies for staying vigilant being misinterpreted? Could your efforts to stay informed and prepared turn you into a person of interest? Whether you're a cautious planner or simply someone who likes to be prepared for any situation, you might be surprised to discover that these 8 signs could mean you're being monitored. Stay tuned as we uncover the intriguing line between being one of the vigilant and potentially becoming one of the watched. 8. You're deeply involved in ham radio communications. Now, here's an intriguing one for all the radio enthusiasts out there. Your passion for using ham radios and your extensive participation in amateur radio communications could potentially catch FEMA's attention. Why, you ask? Well, ham radios are a vital tool for those who are all about preparedness, commonly referred to as preppers. These radios are invaluable for long-distance communication, especially when conventional networks might go silent, like during natural calamities or emergency situations. Being licensed for a ham radio and actively engaging in this vibrant community doesn't just mean you're well-prepared and self-reliant. It also signifies that you're likely connected to a network of individuals who share these interests, and that could be particularly compelling for FEMA in their mission to observe and understand preparedness behaviors and activities. This interconnected community, equipped to communicate when all else fails, is certainly impressive and might just raise some eyebrows. But here's the catch: ham radio operators often must register their equipment and designated frequencies. This registration means that authorities, including FEMA, can easily track and monitor your communications should they choose to do so. So what's a savvy radio operator to do if they want to stay below the radar? One way is to consider other comms options, look into encrypted digital modes, or use non-licensed radio bands for non-essential communications. Additionally, innovative technologies like mesh networking offer a modern twist, allowing for secure, peer-to-peer interactions that aren't as easily observed. Strategically, if maintaining anonymity or a low profile is important to you, it might be best to limit your communications and keep them casual. This way, you don't stand out while still having the capacity to engage when it truly matters. This thoughtful approach ensures that you retain your essential communication abilities without inadvertently flagging yourself as someone of interest. After all, the balance between preparedness and privacy is paramount. 7. You're buying survival gear and supplies in bulk. Have you ever thought about what happens when you go on a shopping spree for survival gear and supplies? It might just earn you a spot on FEMA's radar. While there's nothing inherently wrong with being prepared, making large or unusual purchases of survival gear can raise a red flag. Picture this: you walk into a store known for catering to survivalists and preppers and fill your shopping cart with bulk amounts of food supplies, tactical equipment, and everyday items in quantities that suggest you're gearing up for more than just a family camping trip. For the folks at FEMA, this kind of shopping behavior might suggest you're bracing for an extreme event or some kind of societal hiccup. Why does FEMA care, you ask? Well, when you make significant purchases, especially when using credit cards, online payment systems, or other traceable methods, these transactions get documented. If your buying patterns seem conspicuously large or frequent, especially with known prepper retailers, it might look like you've got an inside scoop on the next big disruption. FEMA might interpret this high level of preparedness as something worth monitoring. But worry not. If you want to keep a low profile while ensuring your family is well prepared, consider mixing up your purchasing habits. Instead of a one-stop mega haul, spread your acquisitions over time. Try shopping at a wider range of retailers, including places that aren't typically associated with the prepping community. And here's a pro tip: incorporate cash transactions where possible. Cash leaves less of a digital footprint and gives you the freedom to maintain a degree of anonymity. Though preparing for the unknown is a smart move, it's also wise to do it discreetly. By diversifying your purchasing strategy, you can secure all the necessary supplies without raising suspicion. The goal is to be prepared for anything without waving a giant red flag that says, "Look at me, I'm ready for doomsday." So, when you embark on your next purchasing adventure, remember to do it strategically. Sign 6. Your influential online presence. In today's digital age, maintaining an extensive presence online can be a double-edged sword, especially when your focus is on survival strategies and government policies. If you're frequently discussing survival tactics and emergency preparedness on various platforms, it's likely that you're already stirring up interest from major agencies like FEMA. With surveillance technology advancing rapidly, your online activities are not just moments of self-expression but signals that can attract governmental scrutiny. Engaging with topics such as controversial government policies or tactical survival strategies places you in the spotlight as a key thought leader within the survivalist community. In the interconnected world we live in, certain keywords or themes can trigger algorithms designed to monitor public sentiment and gauge individual preparedness levels. It's like leaving a digital breadcrumb trail that outlines a picture of you as an advocate for personal autonomy and preparedness. The discussions you engage in online, particularly if they delve into resource stockpiling or defensive postures, can understandably raise red flags. Security agencies may interpret these discussions as indicative of someone with the potential to lead organized movements or incite large-scale mobilization against established systems. Such assumptions might land your name on a watch list, positioning you as a person of interest due to your perceived influence over collective public thinking or actions. If maintaining a lower profile is of concern, there are strategic ways to continue your passion for sharing knowledge while minimizing unwanted attention. Transitioning your detailed discussions to more private or encrypted platforms can be an effective method. Here you can converse with like-minded individuals without the risk of excessive external scrutiny or misinterpretation of your intentions. Alternatively, placing a stronger emphasis on general safety and well-being tips rather than in-depth crisis reaction plans could be a smart move. By slightly shifting your content focus and tone, you might engage a broader audience interested in sustainability rather than just survivalism. This nuanced approach makes your content relatable and less controversial when viewed under the lens of government monitoring. Consider adopting pseudonyms or joining closed online groups that thoroughly vet new members. This way, you build a community of trusted members who are truly interested in genuine exchange and respectful dialogue. Communities like these allow you to preserve your influence and cherish meaningful interactions without the fear of being labeled as an adversary. 5. You've enrolled in survivalist training courses or attended prepper conventions. While these activities might seem like the ultimate preparation for any doomsday scenario, they could also put you on FEMA's radar. You heard me right. By participating in these courses, you might unintentionally become a person of interest to FEMA. But why? Let's break it down. Survivalist training courses and prepper conventions are places where you can learn vital skills that ensure you're ready for the most severe emergencies or disruptions. We're talking about mastering the art of foraging, perfecting your hunting strategies, and even learning how to go completely off-grid. These are the essential skills that prepare you to live self-sufficiently. However, this same readiness may signal to FEMA that you're prepping to operate outside traditional government assistance. One of the most exciting aspects of these courses and conventions is the network you form. You're not just building survival skills, you're also connecting with like-minded individuals who share your passion for readiness. Though this networking is thrilling, it can catch the attention of FEMA if the group is perceived as mobilizing outside mainstream systems. It's all about finding that balance between being prepared and keeping a low profile. So how can you enhance your survival skills without sending any red flags? First, consider opting for smaller and less publicized courses. They offer the same invaluable skills minus the attention. If possible, engage with community emergency response teams that fly under the radar compared to the bustling atmosphere of large conventions. And let's not forget about the digital age. There's an abundance of online platforms offering training that can keep your participation discreet while ensuring that you're becoming a survival pro. This way, you remain ready for any eventuality without blipping too prominently on any official monitors. Moreover, participating in widely accepted training like first aid courses or natural disaster preparedness workshops by recognized organizations is a strategic move. These pursuits not only keep you well prepared but also help you seamlessly blend into the mainstream. It's about ensuring you stay ready while drawing less attention to yourself and your activities. Point 4. Stockpiling medical supplies when FEMA takes notice. While being prepared is a cornerstone of readiness, acquiring extensive medical supplies can sometimes catch the attention of FEMA and other regulatory bodies. Let's unpack why this might happen and how you can stay prepared without raising any red flags. Imagine a scenario where you're stocking up on various medical items, bandages, antibiotics, over-the-counter drugs, and even a considerable amount of prescription medications. While this strategy makes sense for creating a self-sufficient emergency kit, it can also look like you're gearing up for an unprecedented medical crisis, perhaps even preparing as a solo responder in a widespread outbreak. Such stockpiles might lead agencies to take note, considering them excessive, especially if they include controlled substances or drugs in amounts that surpass normal personal use. The key here is balance. To avoid drawing unwanted scrutiny, think about how you acquire these items. Instead of a bulk purchase from a single supplier, which can set off alarms, take a more measured approach. Spread your purchases over time. and opt for different pharmacies or suppliers, ensuring you keep a low profile. This tactic not only reduces the chance of large transactions appearing unusual, but showcases a responsible and planned approach to preparedness. Another crucial aspect to consider is how you store these supplies. Keeping them straightforward yet clever can make a difference. Instead of having visible piles in a single location, disperse them thoughtfully around your home. Integrating them with your usual household items or discreetly placing them in less obvious spots not only keeps your preparation under the radar, but also organizes your inventory for easy access when needed. Remember, the goal here isn't just to prepare, it's about doing so wisely. These measures not only safeguard your readiness, but also help maintain privacy from organizations keeping an eye on potential over preparation. 3. Stockpiling guns and ammo. Whether you're a gun enthusiast or a collector prepping for potential emergencies, it's essential to understand the implications of accumulating a substantial arsenal. Given the stringent regulations in the US, every firearm and ammunition transaction is subject to detailed documentation. Federal laws mandate that licensed firearms dealers retain sales records for at least 20 years. These documents encompass specifics such as the firearm's description, model, serial number, alongside the buyer's name, address, and identification. This effectively means your purchasing history, if extensive, could catch the vigilant eyes of federal agencies, including FEMA. Now, if the idea of being closely monitored doesn't sit well with you, there are ways to mitigate your presence in these databases. One strategy might be to keep an eye out for older firearms. If you're into vintage guns, you'll be interested to know that those older than 2 decades might potentially slip under the intense scrutiny of modern regulations. Such historical pieces might not be as prominently flagged due to falling outside of the federally mandated record-keeping timeframe. Furthermore, location plays a pivotal role in your perceived footprint. Spreading your purchases across various gun shops and, if possible, crossing state lines can help in dispersing your presence across multiple databases. This strategy might seem like a game of hide and seek, but its intention is to create a multifaceted purchasing profile that's less prone to being prominently listed on federal watch lists dedicated to detecting unusual bulk purchase patterns. Remember, this information isn't just about dodging attention, it's about understanding how your buying habits might be interpreted in a landscape filled with regulations and watchful oversight. So if you've built your collection to prepare for the unforeseen, consider these strategies for enhancing not just your preparedness, but also your privacy. 2. Extensive food preservation and storage practices. In recent years, self-reliance has surged in popularity as people contemplate the stability of food supply chains. If you're someone deeply invested in large-scale food preservation or maintaining an extensive stockpile, you might be inadvertently catching the eye of FEMA. These practices, while rooted in the noble pursuit of preparedness and self-sustainability, can sometimes signal to FEMA that you are gearing up for potential large-scale societal disruptions or catastrophes. Imagine you have a basement lined with shelves of neatly organized jars, canned goods, and vacuum-sealed packages. On the other hand, you might have a state-of-the-art, climate-controlled storage unit packed with grains, powdered milk, and dehydrated meals ready to last months, if not years. This isn't just about being a dedicated prepper, it's also about demonstrating an impressive ability to sustain not just yourself, but potentially an entire community should a crisis arise. From FEMA's perspective, significant stockpiling of resources may indicate preparations for future unexpected events, and it might prompt them to take interest in your activities as part of their ongoing mission to identify potential self-sufficient individuals during national emergencies. But before you start picturing covert government surveillance teams lurking outside your home, consider adjusting how these preparations manifest themselves publicly. Emphasizing discretion without compromising your readiness is key. For starters, rather than centralizing all your supplies into one highly visible storage area, consider dispersing them across multiple less noticeable locations. Utilizing parts of your property that are not immediately obvious, perhaps an attic or under a less used outdoor structure, can also help. Moreover, blending your efforts into communal ventures could also play to your advantage. Neighborhood or community gardening initiatives are excellent ways to contribute to wide-reaching benefits while simultaneously downplaying the extent of your personal reserves. Not only does this shift the focus away from individual stockpiling, but it might also bolster community ties and reduce perceived threats. By engaging in collective, visible activities, the scale of your preparations becomes part of broader societal contributions, which appear less daunting and more integrative. 1. Stockpiling gold and silver, a double-edged sword. Investing in gold and silver has long been considered a foolproof method to protect wealth. History shows that in times of economic turbulence, these precious metals appreciate significantly, ensuring a stable hedge against inflation and market volatility. Imagine a scenario where crises loom large and precious metal prices could potentially skyrocket, a golden refuge amidst chaos. Yet, amassing gold and silver coins or bars could inadvertently put you on the radar of government agencies, like FEMA, that keep a close eye on large financial transactions, especially those hinting at crisis preparedness. Here's where it gets interesting. Any substantial purchase of precious metals typically gets reported to federal authorities as part of anti-money laundering protocols. These regulations, designed to curb illicit activities, often increase scrutiny of your transactions even when your intentions are purely about securing personal wealth. So how can you continue to invest in these valuable resources while remaining below the watchful eyes of the authorities? One crafty strategy is to consider buying gold as jewelry. By focusing on vintage pieces and ornaments, you can accumulate value without the conventional red flags associated with bullion and coins. Explore yard sales, antique shops, and vintage markets to find hidden gems, quite literally. This less conspicuous approach allows you to build a tangible reserve of precious metals that appear more as a hobby collection than a calculated preparation for economic upheaval. Moreover, diversifying not only the forms of gold and silver but also the locations of your purchases can contribute to a more discreet accumulation strategy. Various smaller transactions fly under the radar compared to singular large-volume purchases. Think of it like constructing a piece of art using different brush strokes and colors provides a more complex and captivating image. In your case, a mix of sources and variety in acquisitions helps cloak your financial movements, allowing your investments to be both discreet and secure. By blending traditional wealth safeguarding techniques with innovative purchasing strategies, you can navigate the complexities of precious metal investment while minimizing exposure to scrutiny. In doing so, you are better prepared for whatever financial uncertainties lie ahead without compromising on personal security or privacy. In conclusion, while self-reliance and preparedness are commendable traits, they should be balanced with mindfulness about how such activities can be perceived by agencies like FEMA. The signs discussed, from food preservation to precious metal investment, highlight the ways in which serious preppers might inadvertently attract attention. It's important to pursue your self-sufficiency goals with a sense of discretion and community involvement, thereby diminishing concerns and promoting positive interactions. What are your thoughts on the balance between preparedness and privacy? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more content on self-reliance and safeguarding your privacy. Thank you for watching.